An abandoned castle forgotten by history. A straight man with a trouser pocket cleaner than his face. Should have been submerged in the ruins of the long river of time. About to be reborn in the hands of this man. I'll tell you today. Solve a whole new construction story. The castle is located in the Nuevo Aquitaine region in central France. Founded in the early 20th century. That is, between 1900 and 1920. During World War II, hundreds of Jewish children were adopted. It was finally completely abandoned due to a fire. Don't look outside, it's surrounded by weeds. The scene inside is equally unsightly. All kinds of vegetation grow through the floor. I can't see the bright look of the past on the window frame. The door connecting the interior is useless. Fortunately, the final auction price is not cheap. It cost Danny 60,000 euros. At most, it is equivalent to 400,000 or 500,000 yuan. What you bought is not only more than 100 years of historical feelings. There is also a cool Syrian more damaged wind roof of the same style. You can see the whole floor from the bottom. Rusty valve, a mottled wall, and there's a crumbling backlog. It seems that everywhere is telling the glory of the past. Surrounded by 12 acres of private gardens. That had to be factored into the retrofit plan. The two photos show what the castle used to look like, and Danny was going to use that as a reference for his planning. The process will also keep the original things as much as possible. Like the beautiful tiles on the floor. It doesn't look like there should be much damage. And to rebuild the castle from scratch, you have to start with the trees that are hinted around you. No more obstruction. Danny also accidentally discovered a basement, but it's too eerie inside. He dared not go in alone in broad daylight. After cleaning up the front and back of the house, it looks more comfortable now than before. Then Danny opened the basement door. Only then did he dare to gather up the courage to go inside. The floor is littered with falling wall skin and debris, but the whole structure looks pretty solid. The space inside extends in all directions. It should be the boiler room that was heated indoors before. The reason why I bought this castle in the first place. It's to give my wife and children a better place to live. Although the scene here is hard to describe, but he had to bite the bullet and continue. After receiving startup capital from his wife, Danny's construction plan will also officially start. He also invited a master of transformation to make plans for your future work. I thought I could make a lot of money again. Unexpectedly, it was the sliding iron furnace of a career. The first time I saw it, there was also a castle with indoor trees. At this moment, the only way is to clean the device out first, in order to better carry out the next transformation process. Fortunately, the two I-beams at the top are stronger. There were no accidental breaks during the process. Now that the castle is owned by himself, first of all, it must be reflected from the house number. Since there are no stairs in the room, Danny had to carry the ladder himself. Open the door that has long been stuck. It was difficult to reach the balcony on the second floor. The fence looks very oxidized. If you are not careful, there is a risk of falling. In order to achieve the purpose of repairing and saving, remove some intact window frames, then send it to a friend in town. I hope it can be replicated one-to-one. It is also considered to preserve the style of the castle to the greatest extent. After returning from the city, Danny started cleaning the basement. As the buried ground gradually emerges, he found that the tiles were relatively well preserved. It can save some unnecessary expenses later. On my way to work every morning, Danny could always see these stone tablets. It clearly records the suffering of internal crime. List of people who committed atrocities. And this place was originally the deeds of Jewish children's shelters. This made him even more determined to restore the castle. Due to the large size of the manor, you need a compass so you don't get lost. It's a bit of a struggle to clean up alone. Danny had to hire workers to help him clear a path leading to the castle. To celebrate the arrival of Christmas in advance, he also found a pine branch as a Christmas tree. The cut branches go directly into the crusher. Not only does it save a waste disposal fee, the smashed sawdust also feeds the land. Fog fills the jungle in the evening. The ancient castle shrouded in it is even more mysterious. As you clear away the messy trees around you, Danny also got a more spacious empty roof. You can make good use of this place later. In leisure time, he would also wander around the estate. After all, the total area is as large as 12 acres. It takes a lot of work to explore seriously. The next day a snowflake falls on the earth. Heard that Danny wants to restore the castle's feet. Nick, the old master who has done garden work all his life, decided to help him for free in the coming days. This moved Danny. There is also a greater incentive to invest in the construction of the castle. I don't know how many years of crazy growth it has gone through. The trees inside have long since become disorganized. And trimmed by professional Nick, it looks much brighter than what was written before, considering the dangers of working in snow. So after the spring of next year, Danny just started the renovation work again, in order to better clean up the debris on the first floor. This time, professional staff were also hired, let go of the dirt and grime attached to the ground, revealing the historic tiles below. Nick, the volunteer outside, is also back on duty. Diligent pruning of trees that block the sun. Just cleaning up at the door. A truckload full of construction waste. To really clean up the room. Unintentional is a hard and long-lasting tug of war. Stand on the ground as Danny expected. And the basement tiles are very well preserved. It can continue to be used after rinsing. See the pattern up close. As if each piece were a witness to history. In the next few days, he and the workers are busy clearing the indoor garbage. Occasionally, local media will come and shoot. This is a good thing for Danny. After all, 60,000 euros is not a small amount. The money for the castle has not been paid off yet. Shooting short videos is his main source of income. There are other well-intentioned people who will take the initiative to raise funds. Since the staircase bracket hinders subsequent work, the three of them decisively dismantled it and moved it out of the room. Now the garbage removal becomes unimpeded. Don't look at indoor cleaning, it's a big project. It's also not easy to prune branches outside. To save time for climbing, Nick can only relax with a cigarette in the tree. See this? Of course Danny can't just do things. Immediately build a table out of logs under the tree, used for daily rest and discussion of remodeling work. Seeing that the ground on the first floor has been cleaned halfway, now just initialize it with a high-pressure water gun. Let the tiles regain their former luster. By the way, clean the load-bearing column as well. Hope he can continue to shine for the castle. Sometimes my two sons also come to visit the class. This keeps Danny motivated to work. When the morning sun shines on the earth, Danny was driving to work alone. The demon wind blew all night last night, made him very worried about the state of the castle. And inside, as expected, a small amount of construction waste is scattered on the ground. It must have fallen from the floor on the second floor. For their own safety, Danny puts on a hard hat first. Then he dared to go in and clean it up. Fortunately, only a small area fell. Even he alone can easily solve it. Then put a foam pad on the floor. Prevent something like this from happening again. Then he drove to buy planks from the town. Close the front doors. Fundamentally prevent the entry of the wind through the hall. It's just a little troublesome how to open the door. Remove the baffle again every time. At the same time, the cleaning of the basement can't be left behind. To avoid another accident, Danny chose to smash the wall skin directly. After a long time of erosion, the skin is as fragile as an expired cookie. You can easily scrape off a large piece. To clean the surface of the wall. The ground was also spotlessly cleaned. But you're going to use this as a temporary home. This saves the trouble of commuting every day. Nick has also been dedicated to his position. Take care of the branches cut from the tree carefully, to really make the basement livable. The first is to solve the problem of electricity. Fortunately, this kid has been an electrician for a few years. This little thing is just easy to grasp. With a large capacity mobile power supply, the lighting in the basement was solved smoothly. By the way, install searchlights outside. Even at night, one is no longer afraid. But in all fairness, it still looks terrifying to outsiders. Now Danny wants to open a horror theme park. At that time, you can get your money back just by collecting the tickets. The next day he brought in the solar panels. It is placed on the balcony on the second floor with the most sunshine. Then connect the line. It is convenient to charge electrical appliances such as mobile power supplies. Although access to energy is limited, but we're officially in the electrical age. With the basic wiring completed, Danny also brought the coffee machine over. After all, no matter how hard it is, you can't forget to live a good life. After buying the castle, Danny works hard every day. As long as you see the cleaned room from this, it ended up like this. He can't hide the joy in his heart. In order to allow solar energy to absorb more sunlight, Danny made a set of stands out of planks. More efficient slew rate when raising the angle. Watching truckloads of dirt being shipped out, the basement hallway also became clear. Don't throw the clean stones. It can also be used to repair walls or something later. Every time I'm tired from work, Danny always brews a cup of fragrant coffee. Allow yourself to invest more energy in transformation. He collected the scattered branches. Then you can burn it directly with a fire. Dry weed. It looked disorganized. You also need mowers for indiscriminate harvesting. The new machine I just bought is easy to use. In the blink of an eye, the green grass is exposed here. Outside of work every day, Danny also makes time to spend with the children. The Young Age Alliance is not open, but he is doing his best to help his father. Look into their innocent eyes. It seems that the hard work of transformation has become worthless. The basement walls are not protected by the skin. The cohesion between the stones is also reduced a lot. Danny rinsed the surface with a watering can. Then mix the mortar in proportion. Fill the gaps between the stone bricks. Wet walls make mortar adhere better. It also reduces the risk of later cracking and falling off. Dust won't fall off the walls now. And along with the aesthetics, it has also improved a lot. The arches between the walls were badly damaged. Even the bricks have become as fragile as tofu residue. This situation undoubtedly poses a huge security risk. So Danny made a mark on the board. You take a curved saw and you cut it along the lines of the markings. To make a mold for an arch out of planks, the size is just right, stuck on both sides of the door frame. After confirming that there is no problem with the level, match the rest of the mortar with red brick. Build the shape of the upper edge of the door frame according to the model, in order to fit the overall style. In the middle, he chose to replace it with a stone. The rest continues to be filled with red bricks. When it dries, you get a beautiful arch. Danny was very pleased with the results of his labor. Immediately measure the size of the rest of the door frames. Make all the wooden molds in one go. However, it is inevitable to feel lonely in a battle alone. Remember the man who came to clean the castle last time? Danny thinks it's time for him to come back for a limited time. So, I drove straight to the airport the next day. Hand the crime tool directly into Calvin's hands. No wonder everyone else comes to work for him on a plane. This welcome also does not give the opportunity to refuse at all. The last job on the first floor left a tail. There is still a small half of the room's soil that has not been cleaned up. Just take advantage of the crowd to do things. Finish the remaining work thoroughly. Watching the garbage on the ground gradually decrease. There is also a bathtub from the last century hidden below. After the last truck of construction waste is delivered, use a blower to blow away the dust on the ground. The overall appearance of the first floor finally emerged. I still remember the unsightly scene. Now it's all dusty and clear. Just the garbage that was cleaned up was piled up into a dirt slope. Although this is only a small part of the renovation work, but enough to be worth keeping. Milestones. Then Danny bought a batch of barren wood. Then assembled the scaffold. To make it easier to renovate the second floor, you must first build a platform that can be established. Clean up the card slot that comes with it on the wall. Then the logs are cut to the right size. It can be firmly stuck between two walls. After confirming that there is no problem with the balance, he continued to put the rest of the wood on it. Which leads to Calvin's ending. Danny reluctantly dropped him off at the airport and hoped to stay here a few more days next time. Fortunately, the hardest work is basically completed. Danny was finally fortunate enough to visit the second floor, although the scene here is still unsightly. But the situation is much better than the first floor. The modeled walls are still vaguely recognizable. The scattered garbage is also relatively easy to clean up. From the window, you can overlook the whole outside. This is what Danny is most satisfied with so far. From now on, I will take a shower and enjoy the scenery. It's nice just thinking about it. And to fill in the remaining framework, the problem of residue falling is inevitable. In order to prevent the tiles on the ground from being smashed, it can only be disassembled piece by piece. The wife barely has time to come and help. Greatly accelerated Danny's work progress. The back of the tile is also printed with lion ash. It seems that they are all specially customized for the ancient castle. Due to its age, the adhesive on the bottom is already vulnerable. It can be easily taken off with a pry with a tool. Don't look at the wife's movements, it's very violent. He also has a high scrap rate. This kind of tile is already hard to buy on the market. Later, you can only find replacements with the same style. And then you dust it off. Reveal the original appearance of the ground. The removed tiles are neatly placed aside. You can reuse it after cleaning it. Now Danny can work with confidence. First shovel off the wall skin that is easy to fall off. And then we rebuilt the brackets. Fill in the remaining floor joists. There is no card slot that can be inserted in the middle position. Corner yards can only be installed on both sides of the joists. Then fix the square wood of the right length. Then the joist can be connected to the square wood. Due to stability concerns, the slope and beams are also supported by short wood. Make the overall force more uniform. After finishing, spray the preservative evenly. Avoid wood being eaten by snakes, insects, rats and ants. And then you can lay the ironing board, since it is just for the convenience of trampling. So there's no need for nails. While removing another remaining floor, a well-preserved toilet was also found. And a lucky razor. Although the blade is rusted and unusable. But it's a shame to throw away the toilet. It is a good choice for planting flowers. Now there is a place to step on the second floor, plus the height of the scaffolding and a ladder. You can continue to explore the upper layers. Look up and you can see the charred ceiling. The sun shines directly through the roof. The situation at hand is worse than imagined. Not only is the brick structure of the wall seriously weathered, the tanks on the upper level are also crumbling. It seems that there is still a long way to go. Considering the severe structural weathering between the beams on the second floor, staying is just overcharging. But you have to tear it down, exposing the rusted steel skeleton below. The tiles on the wall have been collected. Let Danny handle it without any worries. Then spray anti-rust paint uniformly. Avoid the trouble of secondary rust. Then apply cement mortar. Repair the damaged area with red bricks. For unsuitable places, it is also needed. Split the brick in half from the middle. You can tell by the method that it is an old master who works on the construction site. The neat effect is also pleasing to the eye. In order to save the amount of red bricks, Danny made a point of leaving a gap in the middle. Pour some mortar on the bottom first. Fill in the stones collected before. Finally, smooth the surface with a spatula. A strong and beautiful ring beam is done. Completed the reinforcement of the second floor. Danny can continue to build higher. The gaps are filled with mortar. Do the previous work all over again. In addition to the inconvenience of hoisting wood, Danny already knew the rest of the steps. Working on a hot afternoon, even hiding indoors can be overwhelming. But seeing the fruits of my efforts these days, in an instant, Danny was full of energy. Remodeling the castle is a big project. From time to time, I have to face various surprise inspections, while ensuring the transformation of composite standards. It is also necessary to have a clear understanding of various building regulations. Fortunately, Danny's makeover is only in the early stages. More precautions will take years. Touch, and so on will complete the last beam. Then fill the gap with cement. Make sure there is no possibility of displacement. In leisure time, the old master Nick will also come to help him. Due to the gradual increase in precipitation in recent days, when you're ready to harden the front door, seriously, he first measured with a level. After confirming that there is no problem, rolling repeatedly with a road roller. At the same time, the two also dug out the sewer pipe. Just follow this line all the way. You can find the location of the castle septic tank. Let the dog with a good sense of smell first. Then they dared to look over. Use a wooden stick to measure the depth inside. It should not be a problem for another 2 or 3 years. Looking at the empty bottom that has been leveled, Danny is also very happy. Immediately lay wooden boards on the ground floor of the 3rd floor, so that I can check it out on the 4th floor. The first thing that catches my eye is a toilet. There is also a tin water tank next to it to store rainwater. The castle originally had 5 floors, but after the baptism of the fire and the initialization of the torrential rain, now it's 1 level down. But the view from the balcony is really nice. When it's repaired, be sure to put the bedroom on top, for their own safety. Danny first tied the safety rope around his waist. After that, you can rest assured to clean up the garbage on the balcony. These bricks are a mortal danger later on. It must be thrown downstairs first. After dealing with the bricks that are easy to fall, Danny just put a tarp on it, so even if it rains outside, he can also work safely down there. And from the drone's point of view, the area covered by the tarp belongs to the middle and rear of the castle. That's where it's currently being remodeled. There are still several side rooms around that need to be developed. Fortunately, Danny's attitude is more optimistic. Since you have already bought this place, just take your time for the rest of the work. But due to a long period of unattended, this place has long been a gathering place for insects. In particular, there are many beehives in the trees. If not handled well, it will be a disaster. And it's not just the outdoors. Even under the floor is densely packed. Fortunately, Nick knows a thing or two about this. Confuse the bees with smoke first. Collect the hives again. If you have honey, you can also sell it to bee collectors. Danny doesn't have to worry about it. The castle is full of exposed I-beams. Some are still hidden among the stone bricks. The outer structure must be destroyed first, to reveal the true shape of the steel inside. The way to deal with garbage is simple and crude. Directly with iron wire, just shovel it downstairs. The damage to the I-beams was severe. There is no better way than to remove and replace. The walls on both sides have also lost their original cohesion. It can be easily removed with a push of the hand. And then Danny divided the tank. Transfer directly from the balcony to the ground. These tin boxes are made of very solid material, and there are more than one in the castle. You can sell it as scrap to recycle bin later. More or less, Danny can get his blood back. Then Danny brought the red bricks from downstairs. Start mending the walls that were just torn down. A person's work is inevitably a bit tiring. Danny tied a hammock between 2 trees. You can also relax at noon. A lot of rubbish has fallen from upstairs in recent days. It took all afternoon to clean up. In the process, he found an intact bathtub. Lying down, you can still feel the historical years of precipitation, in order to avoid cracking of red bricks. Each time before use, Danny would soak it in water first, although it is a bit laborious to move. But it can prevent the moisture in the mortar from being absorbed. This guarantees the strength and stability of the wall. And then Danny measured the width of the doorway. A mold for an arch made of wooden planks. And then you can lay it with bricks. After this period of training, his skills are getting better and better. Every detail is handled tightly. The weather became very hot in the afternoon. Danny has been insisting on the post. After drying, carefully remove the mold. Clean the excess mortar on the surface. The arch of 100 years ago was perfectly recreated by him. Then Danny divided the palace into 2. Use one force and go directly downstairs first. After confirming that this method is feasible, then measure the rest the same. It's just that there's no I-beam support on the other side. The missing hole in the wall, undoubtedly. But you have to fix it with bricks first, so that you can rest assured. Carry out subsequent disassembly work. The wall below is also pushed off. Fragile like moldy expired cookies. After cleaning off the loose part of the surface, rinse the remaining soil with water first. It can be repaired with red bricks next. During this period of summer vacation, the son will come to help his father whenever he has time. Although the power that can be given is limited. But small actions, enough to keep Danny happy all day. The next few days of work focused on repairing the walls. During the period, it should also be measured with a level time. Make sure each brick can maintain the same height, to avoid accidentally falling. He put guardrails on the edges of each floor. Greatly improved the safety factor of construction. Turning the sky, Hunan is back again. Danny picked him up from the airport in the rain. So Calvin first looked at recent retrofits. I also learned about the work that needs to be done later. And as the host, Danny, naturally, he will bring out good wine and food to entertain him. After all, cleaning up clutter is manual labor. It's a lot easier with Calvin around to help. As a year-round fitness bodybuilder, opening the door by hand can only be counted as pediatric. Dozens of caddies of wood can be thrown directly out the window. The 2 of them stood in the midday sun. Carry out the larger debris in the room. By the way, clean the stairs next to it. It's covered with plant roots and soil. It took a long time to clean up. Even Calvin, who was next to him, looked at it with admiration. A fire decades ago left the castle in ruins. Broken stone pillars are scattered all over the manor. In order to restore the castle to its original appearance as much as possible, Danny collects them again. Considering cleaning the utility room, it's a bit laborious to rely on just 2 people for manual labor. So the next day he called his old master Nick. I want to use the power of the excavator. Create a passage for vehicles to enter. Because the power of the machine itself is too small, it also requires Calvin's right to cooperate, to move the heavy boulders away. Wait until the width is wide enough for a toy car to pass. The rest of the job becomes easy. The waste dug up is transported by truck. And as the cleanup progresses, soon the pattern tiles below are exposed. The excavator also has room to operate inside, with the joint efforts of several people, successfully replaced with I-beams for support. With experience installing the first route, the second one is also quick and easy to get done. Then two excavators work at the same time. One is responsible for transporting outward. The other one just puts the trash aside. How the assembly line works. Double the cleaning speed of the room directly. Soon the cleanup is coming to an end. Then blow away the remaining dust with a blower. Let the internal layout become clearer. To express gratitude, the fragrant grilled steak will naturally be arranged. Looking at another feat accomplished before my eyes. But you are also happy from the bottom of your heart. This used to be the castle kitchen. He kept the stove in the corner. Then mixed the mortar single bottom. Restore the stone pier to its original position with a forklift. With the help of friends. It is also a tight fit after being placed on it. But to prevent falling off again, the bottom also needs to be firmly fixed with a jack. Then the gap can be filled with mortar. There is no flaw in the completed effect at all. During the cleaning process, several broken cups were also found. These are all testimonies to the century-old history of the castle. Driving forklifts is not Nick's forte. The pruning of the garden belongs to him. Fields of summer vegetation come alive. It's also easier to see their growth. Remove trees that easily block sunlight. Make the view in the castle wider. While a few people are busy outside, Danny wanted to test Gongja Gang's level. But due to daylight problems, the green light that causes the device is not very noticeable. I had to brush the surface with black anti-rust paint first. Even some not very important positions. Carefully polish off the rust stone on the surface. And apply paint. Avoid the possibility of secondary rust. At night, Danny quietly touched it back alone. Although the light of the searchlight is very bright, but the dark atmosphere still scared him a little. At the same time, turn on the measuring instrument again. It is obvious that the two sides are not on the same line. Even the balcony is slightly lower than normal height. Things are worse than expected. There are many reasons for this problem. If it's because of foundation settlement, it's a big problem. But by now it's too late to regret. The day begins with champagne and hamburgers. Simply finished breakfast. Danny raised the slightly lower threshold first. The rest can only be adjusted slowly during the process. The life force of plants is beyond imagination. It can also take root and sprout in hard concrete. For the sake of their desire to survive, Danny temporarily keeps the saplings in plastic bottles. Find a suitable location to plant in the garden in the future. Then make a groove in the square wood, so that it can fit tightly between the beams. Hit with a hammer to adjust position. Make sure each square wood can maintain the same distance. And we put planks on top of them. After there is no problem with the test load bearing, Danny can rest assured to fix the remaining items. In order to avoid the possibility of displacement of the wood, short wood should be added to the gap for support. Same operation in the middle. Make the force on the platform more uniform. Thanks to the grooves that come with the walls, allows Danny to easily fasten the wood. In the following period of time, he has been working on the installation of off-grain, and with previous experience, make it easier for him to operate. In order to make the overall structure more robust, the connection to the wall should also be repaired. Considering that there is no real value in avoiding the publication, there is also a certain risk. Then you might as well just tear it down, to avoid the risk of falling in the future. The next day, Danny bought the ozone addition. It is neatly spread on the platform that has just been built. With a solid and reliable bottom support, he immediately assembled the scaffold. Start dismantling the upper steel structure. We've got rusted pipes in the corners. After dismantling, it should also be replaced uniformly. It's just that things don't go according to plan. A heavy rain exposed the flaws of the castle. Rainwater enters the room without any hindrance. But even in the rain, he didn't give up his work. Eat the lost that was not measured before. Danny marked the wall in advance. Avoid the situation where the last level is not uniform. And I cut it with a chainsaw. Put it carefully on the lower floor. This time of exercise has improved him a lot. You can move the dismantled I-beams outdoors by yourself. It is inevitable that a person will be too busy. I had to ask my two triplets brothers for help. It's not just people who polish it. He doesn't even have to worry about painting just now. But it's all just Danny's imagination. There's a lot going on every day. I wish I could have 3 heads and 6 arms. In the evening, he set up a tent nearby. You open your eyes the next day and you're ready to work. Since there is no card slot on the wall on the other side of the kitchen, therefore, it also needs to be installed. Upper I-beam instead, so that the joist is firmly stuck in it. And then you lay these on boards. The entire second floor is done. And because of that, the delivery of materials can only be through the window on the second floor. Fortunately, with the assistance of the pulley device, plus Nick helps from the side, nearly 1,000 caddies of I-beams were done by the two together. Considering that one is too lonely in the castle, so that my wife and children can move in together, he carved out a clearing not far away, ready to build one, a yurt that can accommodate 4 people. But these are not urgent. The restoration of the castle remains the main task. For this reason, Danny often works alone late into the night. I also believe that with his efforts, all the efforts can be met with the due echo. Ever since I found out that Danny was going to build a yurt, and Nick would come and help him every day. The ground is repeatedly rolled with an excavator. Make sure there is no risk of sinking later. I installed the joists on the 3rd floor in one go last night. Now the two sides can be connected. The gap between the wall and the wall cannot be missed. Styrofoam needs to be injected to seal it. Then pour the stirred mortar into the middle. Trim the incomplete part to keep the yurt away from the ground. Danny put a hollow around the foundation. The position of the center point also needs to be raised. Then concrete is poured inside. Make the bricks bond more tightly. Occasionally when wandering in the garden, he also discovered an abandoned well. Although the water pumped up doesn't look very clean, but it's enough for mixing cement and glue cans. And then Danny puts the squares on the tiles. Make sure each root is at the same distance. After, there is no problem with the measurement angle and level. Each beam can be connected with short timbers. Seal with foam glue near the center. It is convenient to continue pouring with concrete until it is flush with the surrounding beams. The next day Danny started fixing the insulation board online. Benefit from the card slot that comes with the boardroom. After laying it on, there is no gap at all. And then finally, we use centering. Draw a regular circle on the plate. You can cut off the outer part of the mark in order to move in as soon as possible. And Danny covered it overnight with a pine board. The yurt ordered the next day also just arrived. Since the purchases are all finished frames. And there are also door-to-door services from workers and masters. Danny didn't have to worry about the assembly. I didn't expect it to rain as soon as it was built. Fortunately, the yurt withstood the baptism of the rainstorm. Danny couldn't wait to open the door. The roof shows no signs of leaking at all. It's more than enough for a family of 4. To avoid accidentally falling into the well, he also thoughtfully installed a cover plate on it. Now I have a stable place to live. Danny can also work with more peace of mind. The ground on the 3rd floor is only halfway through. The rest should also be completed quickly. The afterglow of the setting sun gently flows through the window. Burning the midnight oil has become the norm for Danny. Fortunately, the searchlight is bright enough so that he can clearly lay the ground with European pine boards. Often staying up late and working overtime makes him physically and mentally exhausted, but the daily work still has to go on. The renovation has been going on for 3 years now. Compared to the previous pile of junk, the castle is gradually being reborn in Danny's hands. And the restoration work has also come to the top floor of the side room. The badly weathered walls above need to be cleaned up urgently. The rusted eyebrows should also be removed. Then wet the wall with water. Fill the gap in the tip of the stone brick. Then use a spatula to smooth the mortar. Let the surface take on a textured texture. Considering the castles are all dirt floors, it's very easy to get muddy when it rains. The next day, Danny bought 2 truckloads of gravel. We're going to harden the driveway on the property. This kind of thing is naturally left to Nick to handle. Danny continued to sew and mend inside the castle. He strives for excellence in every detail. Even the smallest gaps need to be filled. Building a driveway is also a big project. We need to use an excavator to lay out the history first, rolling repeatedly while driving the road roller. For an elderly person in his late 60s, not only to overcome physical limitations, but also to solve the problem of mechanical failure. Fortunately, decades of experience are not enough. After a whole morning of hard work, a perfect lane is officially completed. The midday sun is very spicy. Danny risked eating the whole village. Removed saplings growing on the wall. Then he continued to repair the broken wall. The top floor was the most damaged part of the castle. Any leakage of any part is fatal. So over the next week, he is trying to perfect every detail as much as possible. Since the castle is in ruins, as a result, people may be very vague about the renovation work. Danny was repairing the middle of the castle. This is equivalent to the hall leading to the side rooms on either side. And now it's the kitchen floor. It has now been perfected to the height of the 3rd floor. In the days of remodeling the castle, Danny is alone most of the time. Although the work is hard every day. But just think of 2 well-behaved and sensible sons. No matter how tired he is, it makes him feel worth it. The door in the middle of the hall has long since disappeared. To avoid accidents when entering and leaving, it also needs to be replaced with a new I-beam instead of breaking at the same time. Damaged walls are also repaired. Next comes the installation and measurement link, with the assistance of a hand lift platform. Even if only Danny could handle it easily. During this period, it needs to be continuously calibrated with a level. Make sure the 2 sides are strictly on the same line. After many repeated fine-tuning, the installation of intermediate grain removal can start the next day. The morning sun is hardly hot, but it can give people just the right warmth. Then Danny laid concave slabs on the ground. An entire floor on the 3rd floor is officially completed. The next step is to consider the construction of the roof. It is still adhering to the principle of repairing the old as the old. During this time, a large number of photos of the castle were collected. But because it is too old, the presentation of details is not very clear. And there aren't many roofs left. There's just a circle of beams at the top that's holding its ground, only through the location of the drain pipe, and the marks left on the walls, to determine the height and trend of the roof. But the problem will always be solved, like this reconstruction in the rubble, as long as you are willing to put in the effort and patience. No matter how dilapidated the dilemma can be solved.